welcome to the Meeple Podcast. My name's Bill Price.
And I'm Hollis Biggs.
And we are back. We are back with episode 4 to talk about...
Trio.
And other games.
Yes.
Because we are the podcast for board game beginners. And, last time we sort of left the cliffhanger of Trio. And we promised a super easy, super fun game for 3 to 6 players. Even for people who you can play with, people who aren't really into games. Just want to sit down. I'll call it like the Uno players, right?
That's a great way to describe it.
Grandma will play Uno.
Heck yeah. Trio's not a tough game to learn. It's tough if you can't remember where things are.
And none of us can. Our whole group sits there and is like, that one. And everyone's like, we just turned that one over. Like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, so to set this up, do you want me to explain it or would you like to?
No, if you want to explain it, why don't you explain it and I'll talk about what I liked about it.
Okay, sounds like a plan. So everybody has a hand of cards in their hand that they organize by number value. And it is, what are the values? It's like 1 through
12?
12, mm-hmm. 1 through 12. And so I think it's 9 cards, 10 cards, 11 cards, something like that. 9 cards, I think.
Something in the middle.
And in the middle, I think there's 8 cards. Well, it depends on player count. So let's just call it 8 cards in the middle. Everybody has 9 cards in their hand. It's something like that. Hollis is trying to hand me the rule book right now.
I swear we played this game before.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this from memory. And so basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a trio of cards. And a trio is, oddly, a set of 3. Or maybe even not so oddly. It's a set of 3 cards. And there are only 3 of each number in the deck. So you get a trio, and you get 3 of them, a trio of trios, if you will, and you win the game. The other way to win the game is just to get a trio of 7s.
Yep.
And 7s are really hard for a reason that I will kind of get into right now. So what you're doing is you are asking. It's almost like a Go Fish memory mechanism. You can ask anyone else, hey, Hollis, what's, or whatever their name is, Hollis, what's your lowest card? And she has to show me. What's your lowest card?
2.
2? Okay. Let's see. I can ask somebody else what their lowest card is or what their highest card is, and they have to tell me. Or I can turn over and look and show everybody. I can turn over a card in the middle. And if it matches, if it's also a 2, then I can keep going until I get a trio. If it's not the same, then I turn it over and it is now the next person's turn. So now I've kind of given some information to everybody that Hollis's lowest card is a 2 and that say I flipped over a 9. Okay, so now Hollis can be like, hey, Bill, what's your highest card? And I'll say, well, mine's a 12. And she'll be like, oh, okay. And Hollis knows that she has 2 12s in her hand. So she says, hey, Hollis, what's your highest card? Well, gosh, it's a 12. And so she plays it down. Hey, Hollis, what's your highest card now? And it's a 12. She plays it down, and now she has a trio of 12s because she has mine and her 2. And so now it moves on to the next person.
Yeah.
And it's slowly revealed, but now her highest card and her highest card is different now. And now maybe nobody knows what it is until it gets asked. So as people go around and they're trying to remember, hey, okay, what's this person's highest card? What's this person's lowest card? And what are these cards that are being kind of revealed in the middle? And it's through this, as it goes around and goes around, that eventually somebody gets 3 trios. Now, the reason 7 is so difficult is because it is dead in the middle of the 1 and the 12, basically. So it is almost never going to be anybody's highest card or lowest card, at least not until the game has been going on for a little while and people start shedding their cards.
Yeah. It's great because you can ask someone, what's your highest card or what's your lowest card? Or you can flip over,
right?
One from the middle. The tough part is that you can't ask someone their most middleist card.
Correct.
So that's kind of a tough one. That was a little bit of a bummer the first time I played. I did not win. But I still had a great time.
You've won a lot since then. Like, you kind of are sort of a trio savant on occasion.
I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but, beep beep. Here we are. So I do really...
First time for everything.
I did really enjoy this game. But part of that is because I really like games with any kind of memorization or any games requiring memory skills. I think everybody grew up on games similar to that. If you did grow up on board games, that would be, or card games. That's one of great intros. So I think Trio kind of reminded me of that, but it's a lot of fun to play in a group. It does get tougher. Like, we play a lot of our board games at a couple of our local breweries around here. It does get tougher a few drinks in, so
as most things do.
But Trio was definitely an easy one. Again, it's for 3 to 6 players. It says ages 8+, but if you can know some kids that have better memories, this is a great game for them.
That's probably because they didn't want to have the cards poison tested for safety. You kids don't eat the cards. Honestly, this game, it's by Happy Camper Games, and it's pretty readily available. They just did another printing of this, and as a heavier board gamer myself, I really enjoy it. I've had really good luck introducing it to people who rarely play much above Uno level type of games. I've played it with 6. I've played it with 3. I've played it with 4. I've played it with 5. And it is just, it's easy to grasp, and it leads to a lot of laugh out loud moments, right? And some ahas and just a lot of fun, really with anybody. You don't have to be like a quote unquote gamer to play this game and to get this game.
Yeah, plus it's kind of nice. It's a deck of 36 cards. It's in a fairly small box, and it honestly travels well. So
for sure.
Easy to take, to your local brewery or on vacation or potentially to the beach or things like that. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, and if anyone's familiar, it actually is a re-implementation of a game called Nana, Nana. Which was its original title. This has a couple of rules tweaks just to kind of tighten it up, but basically it's the same set of cards. Okay, so what's the next one that you'd like to talk about?
The next one I'd like to talk about is one of my new personal favorites. It's called So Clover.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so Bill actually gifted me So Clover for my birthday this year, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool of him, so now I get to, practice even more. It's not necessarily a practicing type game, but, can't hurt to try. So Clover is to use their definition, a cooperative word association game. You can play as a team and try to work with your co-gamers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Co-players.
Co-players, yeah, sure.
Your friends, hopefully, to determine what your word associations mean. So everyone's given. I'll do my best to explain this one here, Bill. Let me know if I do okay on this. But
you're gonna do great.
Everyone that's playing, and it plays up to 5, I think. 6? Maybe it's 6. It's 6. I can't count.
Okay.
Plays up to 6 people. Everyone has their own Clover board. And in the middle of that board, there are 4 kind of divots where you place 4 cards. Now you're drawing 4 cards at random, and on each of these cards, there are words on each of the 4 sides of the square card. So none of these words have anything to do with each other. They can be words like battery, laugh, luxury and carpet are all the ones on this one that I've just drawn. And obviously none of those things necessarily have anything to do with each other, but you're trying to link 2 words on every single card at the tops of each of the cards to each other. And you kind of randomly place them on your board. So there's kind of endless possibilities for each Clover board that everyone has. And you're somehow trying to come up with a way to link these words together with another single word. And we prefer no proper nouns. So
Correct.
yeah, makes it a little bit tough. But, if I drew two, and let's say here on these two cards that I've drawn, I'm trying to link luxury and bath together. Maybe the word I use would be something like spa.
Oh,
Maybe you'd be able to link that together. But the real tough part of this game is that when you're done linking all your words together, you write them in a dry erase with a dry erase marker on each of your spaces on the Clover board. You then take your 4 cards up, shuffle them, add in a secret 5th card, and pass it to the middle of the circle of people you're playing with. And then they, as a team, have to guess which cards, 1, are yours, and 2, are linked with the words you've used. And sometimes it gets really tough if that 5th card, because you don't know what's on that 5th card, if that 5th card has some things that are really close to what you've written down.
That has happened to me a lot of times where I'm like, this is a big stretch to put these two together. And that 5th card has like the perfect word for that. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah, like I might have drawn luxury and bath for the words, and I've chosen to use the word spa, but if massage is on the other card that randomly gets tossed in there, I'm really in trouble.
Yeah, that's a struggle.
It's also tough because you're not supposed to also sit there with your fellow players and not make faces when they are obviously choosing the wrong card.
I struggle with that a lot.
Yeah, we have to make Bill turn around.
Yeah.
He can't look at the decks anymore. He also needs to plug his ears. He can't listen to us talk about it.
I can't. I just want to squeak, make weird noises and faces, and that does not. That helps, but it's very much against the rules.
So Clover is really fun because, again, it's all word association. You're using your best efforts to link words together that it might have nothing to do with each other. So it's a lot of fun, but you're also kind of relying on your fellow players' knowledge of what you know and how you would link words together. I link words together differently than Bill does, for sure.
Very much, yes.
So that's always kind of tough.
Yeah, some people will try and think of a word that has to do with both things.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people, like me, will try and combine the things and then come up with a word that sort of means that.
It's a full guess sometimes. If
It really is. And sometimes you just can't come up with anything. And so you just put something innocuous there and sort of hope that the rest of them, like the other 3 sides, are so close and so good that that people will just be like, maybe you just couldn't think of anything on this side. So it's a lot of fun. I love this game. It's a party game. I love it so much because it leads to, just like I said with Trio, those laugh out loud moments, those aha moments. Everybody is interacting. People get really energized. They're like, no, here's what I think. And this is what I think. Well, oh, wait, guys, hold on. What if this is it? And everyone's like, oh my God, that's perfect. That could be it. And somebody's like, well, but wait, guys, this other thing doesn't make any sense. And I was like, oh, and it's just, it just really is, it's so much fun and it's so social. And if you're friends with everybody, it leads to great times. If you're not friends with everybody, you probably will be after you play this game. Either that or you're playing with weirdos.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, I've played with some weirdos.
The relationships that you kind of walk into this game with can both help and hurt. We typically play with Alex, which is Bill's brother, but also my fiance.
Yes.
So Bill has known Alex for a lot longer than I have, and so you actually tend to guess his more correctly than I do. But
Alex
sometimes
is a very particular way of looking at the world.
Don't I know it? Actually, I don't know it. I never get his right. So I appreciate that Bill normally plays with us. Makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, such a good game. This is one game where I brought this one and a couple other party games out, I believe for my birthday. And we played this one, we played some other games, And after we played this one, Hollis is like, I have to buy this game. I have to buy this game. And fortunately, her birthday is like only a month after mine, and so I got it for her, and it is that the only game to this day that I've ever introduced her to where she has said, I have to buy that right now.
It is a really good one. I'd highly recommend it for anyone. I don't know what the age association is for this one, but really, you can play with anybody. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think it's officially 3 to 6, but honestly, if you have to play this game, you could play it with 2. You miss out on all the social parts of it. It's just like, here, try and guess my stuff. And you'll be like, okay, am I right? No. Okay.
You could also adjust if you have new players or things like that. You don't have to play with that surprise 5th card necessarily.
Right.
If you want to make it a little bit easier, at least for an intro, like for the very first time you play So Clover, it's not a bad idea. Yeah. But this game is a 12 out of 10 in my book. I really enjoy So Clover, so it's a great one. You do not
obviously enjoy math, because 12 out of 10 is not how this works.
12 out of 10. That's my that's my rating. It's stellar.
Excellent. Okay, well, good. I'm glad we got to talk about that one.
You want to talk? Do we have time for one more?
We do have time for one more.
Ooh, can I make a recommendation on which one we talk about?
Yes, please.
All right. I would love to talk about one of my other kind of favorite games, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. Yes.
It's mostly one of my favorites just to say the lengthy name.
And that is the name of the game. And I actually met the designer of Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza at whatever the last convention I was at, which is Gamma, the Gamma Expo. And I heard a story that everybody told him, don't name your game that. And he did it anyway, and it was a huge hit, and it is stellar.
It's very recognizable. The premise of the game is that you're dealt pretty much between you and all the players that you play with, which I think is between like probably 2 and 8 maybe, something like that.
Yeah, it plays a lot.
It's fun. It's, again, a very social game, but you deal out the entire hand of cards. The deck of cards, thank you. So everyone has their little hand, and they don't look at their hand. You're just kind of randomly flipping over the top card in your hand. So the idea is that you're trying to go through the lineup of taco cards, cat cards, goat cards, cheese cards, pizza cards, and then some surprise gorilla cards, narwhal cards.
Yes.
Narwhal.
Narwhal. Yeah.
I think I said that right.
Yeah.
And I think there's one more. I don't recall off the top of my head, but those have special rules to playing those cards. But the idea is that you're laying these cards down, and if they don't line up with what you say they are.
So the first person says taco and lays down the card at the same time. And if it's a taco, then everybody puts their hand in the middle and tries to not be the one who's last. If it's not, then it goes to the next person. The next person says cat and puts down a card. If it's a cat, everybody puts their hand in. If it's not, then it keeps going. Taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza, taco, cat, goat, cheese, all the way around. And it keeps going until they actually lay down a card that is the thing they're saying. And that triggers everybody to swing. Kind of like if you ever played just regular cards, slapjack, or in a way spoons, kind of, except not as deadly as spoons.
Well,
I don't know anybody that I ever played spoons with that doesn't have spoon scars.
Definitely have cut my hands up a couple of times. Plus, I tend to play with long nails, so watch out for me. I'm,
And Hollis is weirdly fast at this game, too. She's weirdly good at all these games. But,
thanks, Bill. Appreciate that.
No problem. It's true. It's true. I've never won, or even really come close to winning.
Ooh.
It's usually Hollis or Nikki that get it. I don't think anyone else has ever won.
Again, I like to play this game mostly because I'm kind of aggressive when I play it.
Yes.
So I'm sorry to everyone that I play with, because I will say the speed at which I throw my hand into the onto the pile is kind of deadly.
That's true. And theoretically, if somebody flinches to go in, they have to take the pile. Oh, and that's the thing. If you're the last one, your hand on top, you have to take all of the cards that were in that pile and put them in your hand. So the ultimate goal is to get rid of all the cards in your hand. And you do that by, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizzaing around, and then not being the last one to slap their hand down and have to take more cards. And then after you play the last card, it goes around again, and then and you're the winner.
Yeah, and you can play with just the Taco Cat Goat Cheese and Pizza cards. Mm-hmm. I do like, not everyone, loves the special secret throw-in cards of the Gorilla, the Narwhal, and the Groundhog.
Groundhog
is the third one.
Yes.
Because they come with special rules. So instead of just slapping the middle of the pile, you have to do I don't want to say a dance because it's not quite a dance, but do an action before you slap the deck.
Yeah, like put your hands up in the air, or slap your hands on the table, and then and then reach in and grab it, or if you put your hands on your chest and then something.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
Essentially, you're trying to do the actions of the animal that you've drawn. So, like a gorilla,
like
they want
cards.
you to kind of beat on your chest before you slap the middle of the deck.
Yeah,
so
they're Macarena cards. You just sort of like slap everything and then do the hokey pokey and then slap your hand out.
Man, I wish you guys could have seen that on video. They really did the Macarena here for us. It was great.
All right. So that's a good one. Also one of those exceptionally easy to play with people who aren't really normally into to games in general. So, well, that brings us to the 21-minute mark, which weirdly seems to be kind of our jam. So, we will see you in the next one. And if you'd like to get a hold of us, we'd love to hear from you. You can visit our website at themeeplepodcast.com. You can email us at themeeplepodcast@gmail.com, or you can check us out on Instagram at themeeplepodcast. Surprise, surprise. All right, so we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.